Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Cherry Reyes, and I'll be your host for tonight's tele-class. I'd like to officially welcome you to Karen Rice's World Movement for Raising Happy Kids. It's going to be another interesting topic for tonight on self-respect. Before anything else, on behalf of Karen and myself, we want to thank each and every one of you for your time and support for making this teleclass a success already, because the fact that you are here with us, we can count this as part of our today's success. And now, on behalf of everyone on this call and myself, we want to express our gratitude to you, Karen, for doing this and having and giving all of us access to your knowledge and to your wisdom. In my world of leadership, we always say leaders are learners. And for me, Karen, you are a true person of influence. I can just imagine the ripple effect of your work, how many lives it's going to touch, how many homes it's going to reach, and just like any other change, it's just a matter of an individual making that decision to bring about that change, and next thing you know, he or she's already bringing that into their home and into their family, and that's how your movement is going to be so powerfully to be, next thing you know, all over the world, right? And that's what we want to happen. um, Self-respect, I have my own journey of that. I took that, and it all started with a conscious decision to start on a self-discovery and learning more about myself. I'm sure a lot of us, or maybe one of you, or most of you on the call can relate to that. Now, just to give you a little bit of a background here, I met Karen a couple months, I know not couple months, few months ago already at the Women's Chamber office. Back then I was helping out with a membership at that time, and she handed me a copy of her book, Parenting for the New Millennium. I took a quick glance at the contents, and I thought to myself, and I told her, your work needs to be spread out to the world. A lot of homes, schools, and organizations need to know about this. And that was her starting point. And so here we are today. We've gone so far doing just that, spreading her message and her work and bringing awareness to people about her certification program in raising happy kids. Um, she's going to mention more about that later on. You can learn more about raising happy kids by visiting her website at happykidsco.com. Several years ago, I love saying this part, she was given the name the miracle worker of education and parenting because she had mastered the power of respect. And so with no further delay, I'm proud to share with you my friend and the miracle worker of education and parenting, Karen Rice. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Cherry. That is so cool. Wow. Your introductions keep getting better and better, man. I'm in awe and honored.
So it's all yours now. We are so eager to hear more about self-respect.
Okay. I feel this is a very important part of the whole of what I'm offering. My primary expertise in the field of self-respect comes from all that I've studied on the topic and continue to study, and the fact that I have accomplished moving from self-doubt, really extreme self-doubt, to self-respect. The transformation is not 100%, but it's close to it. So today I'm going to be sharing some of what I've learned and what's worked for me. I'm just going to give you a brief pathway into this. When I was 13, I remember very clearly sitting on the lower bunk, which was my bunk, and I knew something in me. I knew that I was here to do something really important. And I was wondering, like, was it here to find the cure for cancer? But then as I thought about that more, I realized I didn't want to go to medical school. So I knew that wasn't it, but I didn't know what it was. And then I didn't really think about it much after that day. I got my bachelor degree in anthropology from San Francisco, and from that time, I was interested in people and their motivations and how they do things and how that works. Then I ended up studying Montessori in India, which was a major turning point for me. I didn't expect it to be. I actually took the class, signed up for the class so that I could have a student visa in India. But the first night of the class, I was hooked. And so I continued there and then was asked to help out in the training course, and so I did as an assistant to the class and sat as an examiner at the end of that class. Then returned to the United States and started a Montessori school in Northern California, where a group of parents, they had like a little play school, but they wanted something more. And so the Montessori school got started. But one of the things that happened there was I became very disturbed by the way the parents were treating their children. I realized it was the way that I was raised. The parents are in charge and they say what goes and what doesn't, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure the child goes along with what they want. But it just didn't feel right to me. And then one day after my daughter was, my only daughter at that time was about a year old, and we were in a church rummage sale. I was looking at baby clothes, and I don't even know why I did this, but I turned over one of the price tags that had been pinned onto this little blouse, and on the back was just a scrap of the Emancipation Proclamation. And all of a sudden, it just struck my brain like this light bulb went. I mean, it was even brighter than that. And I realized what bothered me about the way the parents were treating their children. And it had to do with that relationship where some people got emancipated, but the children were not. Then I began spending a lot of time observing and trying to figure out what could I do, because when this first happened, I shared it with a couple of my close friends, and they were in shock and horror, and I realized that I couldn't just put it out like this, that I needed to find something to transform this relationship to one of peace and harmony and enjoyment. And I had to do it in a way that people could be open to it and welcome it instead of trying to close it off. And so that's been my journey, finding the solution, sharing it. Anyway, and the most recent thing is this certification program that Cherry mentioned. So as I I was invited to India to help create a series of educational centers for this community service organization. And as I was seriously considering doing this, I realized that before I could do something like this, I needed to share what I felt I'd learned from the children and their parents, and that I would be kind of betraying them to have learned something which seemed so important to me if I didn't share it. So I started writing it down, and it turned into a book. And one of the aspects of what I was sharing with them was self-respect, focusing particularly on the parents. I realized that it can be quite a task to learn to treat children respectfully when this was not how most of the parents were raised. And to keep things in balance, I wanted them to be able to treat themselves respectfully too. And I also was on that journey. If you were not raised with respect, you may have to make some changes so that you treat yourself respectfully, so that you are part of the harmony. Self-respect involves self-discovery. And as you are now paying attention to how you act and how you feel, what you think, to help you develop self-respect, you can discover and become clearer about what suits you. This suits me. It feels good when I do this. It may be easy or not, but when you do what suits you, you easily remain at peace with yourself and your world. You're open to enjoyable experiences. You now do what you can to ensure that you spend the rest of your life doing what you love to do and having experiences that are deeply satisfying. Who is the only person who knows whether your clothes are comfortable, how the sun feels on your skin, how the broccoli tastes to you? You, of course. You are the only one who can know how your experiences are for you. So you are the only one who knows if something suits you. You are the only one who knows if you like something, or if you enjoy something, or if doing something makes you feel good. If it makes you feel good, then it suits you. When you're doing what suits you, especially when it is something you love to do, you not only have inspiration, you're also willing to do that extra work, which results in excellence. Your self-esteem, your self-respect is bound to soar when your efforts result in excellence. Another important thing you can do starting immediately is to stop criticizing yourself. Decide you are going to become your own best friend, someone who is always there for you, who wishes you the best, who loves you no matter what. Here's how one person was helped to improve in this area. Not only learning how to stop thinking negative thoughts about herself, but how to take positive action to improve this situation. At one point, I had a newspaper column, and every week people in the community would give me questions that were answered in the newspaper, and this was one of them. The question was, what do you do about your guilt and remorse over past parental mistakes? Answer: forgiveness. It can help to remember that at the time, given who you were, given the information you had, given your circumstances, you did the best you knew how. Now, with different information, different circumstances, a different you parent differently, and some of what you did in the past looks like mistakes. Maybe it was, but it is past. Perhaps you gave your kids the chance for greater compassion because of what they suffered. There might be lessons they needed to learn, and what you did was part of their learning. Think as positively as you can about what has already happened. Be your own best friend. And always give yourself the benefit of the doubt. At that time, you did not think you were committing mistakes. Maybe you weren't. You might also check with your kids, even if they are now adults. If they agree with you that you committed parenting mistakes, ask them for forgiveness. Ask if there is anything you can do now to help repair any damage you may have unknowingly done. Then do it. Ask them to help you make sure that you don't continue any of the mistaken parenting patterns you started in the past. When you truly respect someone, your respect even extends to your thoughts about that person. Now is the time to apply that respectful behavior to yourself. When you think of someone you respect, you think of their pleasing qualities, words they've said that you admire, actions they've taken that make you feel good, even proud of your connection. You tend to overlook or accept weaknesses and mistakes. Now, apply all of that to yourself. When you are with a respected person, you do your best to consider their feelings and wishes in whatever actions you take or what you say. Do that for yourself, too. You do your best to cooperate with them. If you know there is behavior that pleases that person, you do your best to behave in this manner and to avoid behavior that they do not like. So do your best to behave in ways that please you. Respect can be developed by practicing cooperation and simple common courtesy, treating others in ways that feel good to them. We want them to have a pleasant life, and we wish to contribute to it. Cooperation and courtesy are important practical aspects of respectful relationships. Here again, practice respectfully relating to yourself in what you think, say, and do. You would learn this naturally from infancy onward with practice and inspiration, unless you were prevented. The purpose of this certification program is to help as many children as possible have this experience. When you do what suits you, you give your full attention to that task. Even jobs take on new dimensions. Wow, this is living. I get to read or ski or type, think, work outside, which I love, or which helps me build my strength, makes me feel good, and I get paid for it. Doing what suits you makes you feel good and makes you feel good about yourself. When you feel good about yourself, you feel like being good to your children. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Work with it so that you transform it to the way you want it to be. Realize that this moment, now, is when you have the power to make things different, even just by the way you think about them. Cease being critical of yourself. Pat your own back as much as possible. Be on the lookout for the good that you do. In developing your self-respect, it can also be helpful to become aware of which parts of you were absorbed from your parents without discrimination. Now, you can decide which elements of your behavior you like and want to keep, and which you wish to change, because they no longer serve your needs. For example, fears most likely come in this category. They can be little nagging fears or anxieties. What will she think? Will the store still be open? Am I going to be late? Or bigger fears, the fear of failure, or the fear of success. All fears are limiting. When you decide that you don't want to be limited in this way, you can find your way beyond them. One simple path involves becoming aware that you are afraid and that you don't want to be. Fear is based on thoughts of what could go wrong. Then you feel very strong emotions, emotions that you will feel if this thought manifests. Simply change what you are thinking. Think a thought or thoughts that make you feel safe and secure. Think how you would like this situation to resolve itself. When we change that thought, all the rest changes. It is also important, once you know what you need through your process of self-examination, to communicate these needs clearly when necessary. This is essential. Do not assume that others will read your mind. Even if they can, they might be too busy with other things. If you want to be sure someone knows, tell them. I'm feeling grumpy today. Please don't ask me for anything. Or, I really don't want to go tonight. Or, that's my favorite. When your children are not taking your needs into account, and when this causes a problem for you, realize and acknowledge that this is your problem and not theirs. It is up to you to solve it without causing suffering to anyone. It's very likely that your children do not know what your needs are. You need to tell them, I have a headache and that noise is making it worse. Or, I really don't like it when my tools are left out. After you're sure that they understand your problem and that you need their help and cooperation, you can wait, leaving it to them to respond. When you ask for their cooperation to help solve your problem, you get an opportunity to practice trusting them, and they get a chance to practice being responsive and responsible human beings. Keep communication open with your children. If their solution doesn't satisfy you, you can share this with them respectfully. Thanks for being so quiet, but even your whispering is bothering me. Maybe you could go outside or to another room, or maybe I should go to another room. Part of the practice of letting others know what you need is showing your appreciation when others behave in ways that please you, such as, I love it when I come home and the house is clean, or I feel so good when you let me know what you need, or thanks for playing silently. My headache is gone now. or thanks for taking such good care of my tools. This nourishes the behavior you like and encourages the other person to behave that way more often. We all like to feel appreciated. It is common to wish you had done things differently after receiving new knowledge. This can be a valuable learning experience, giving insights and causing you to change in ways you desire. However, you do yourself no great service when you punish yourself with guilt. Besides encouraging you to feel self-pity, guilt causes you to focus on the past. It prevents you from seeing the present clearly and deprives you of the energy you need to actively improve the relationship between you and your child. Please do not hold on to guilt for anyone. If you feel guilty because of something you've learned in this class, I hope you become inspired to focus on behaving in a way where you do not feel guilty. Understand why you acted that way and have compassion for yourself. Let go of your need to punish yourself. Take positive action to change your guilt-causing behavior. Of course, feeling guilty can be used as an opportunity to learn. You can become introspective, exploring, discovering what valuable lessons can be learned through this experience, so that the guilt can leave you in peace. Remember, as the well-respected family therapist Virginia Satir tells us in her book People Making, it will help you to realize that whatever may have happened in the past, it represented the best you knew how to do at the time. You must not blame yourself for being a traditional, well-functioning member of your culture. There is no reason for guilt in raising your children following cultural patterning. It was learned at a young age from your family and your community. It can be difficult to see cultural patterns, even when you're trained to do so, especially when they're so much a part of you, an everyday occurrence taken for granted by everyone. Most people don't see cultural patterns, they live them. If you have used punishment to force your children to do what you ordered them to do, guilt can help motivate you to change that behavior. Even more effective is a determination to do your best not to hurt them anymore. Be sure to congratulate yourself every time you're successful at this. Look for opportunities to practice and improve your ability to behave in more satisfying ways. Forgiveness is a key to free you from guilt. Here are some tips and skills put into a strategy to help you forgive yourself. Let's say that you have just behaved in a way you no longer want to behave. First, do not give in to the urge to feel guilty. This can down spiral into self-hatred. You could mentally beat yourself up. Just tell yourself that you'll get better at this. Go apologize. Ask if there is something you can do to make amends. This will help you remember to be respectful next time. Forgive yourself and move on. Sitting there and feeling bad about your limitation does not usually move you beyond them. And here's a strategy to help you forgive others. Let's say your child was very rude to you. First, do not give in to your urge to punish them. Stop and think. Maybe something is bothering them. Maybe they are having a serious problem. Maybe you unconsciously did something to hurt them. Forgive them. Plan to talk with them when they have calmed down. With determination and persistent practice, you can develop strong, supportive self-respect, even if today you cannot possibly imagine it. You can move from low self-esteem to having good self-respect. From one who has made the journey, it is worth every effort. I wish you the best. You deserve it, of course. If you know of anyone, a family, friend, who might like to know more about the certification program, they can go to my website. That's www.happykidsco.com. On the first page, there is a link that goes to a page that has information about the certification program. There's more on there too, but anyway, I think that's it for this evening in terms of what I'm going to offer. But if anybody has any questions, now's a good time.
Awesome. Karen, thank you so much. I took down some notes. A few keywords hit me, like the pattern, and this brought back to my memory about a book when I remember when my kids were still little. Um, they were not behaving very well, and I knew that was my problem, like what you said. I don't know if you've heard of the book How to Behave So Your Children Will Too. Someone gave me that book.
Oh, wow.
Because I couldn't figure out what was I doing wrong. But basically, the whole gist of the book was about you. It starts from you, the parents. So yeah, I mean, listening to all this information that you shared, it just brought back to my memory. But anyways, to everyone on the call, if you have any questions, this is the perfect time to ask Karen. You have all of her tonight. And if you have any questions, just press *6 on your phone, and she will give you the answer to your question. Anyone has a question?
Oh, hi.
Hi, Kimio.
Oh, hi. Yeah, thank you so much. That was great.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, in the Oriental culture, I think that's good. That how to forgive your past mistakes,
Aha.
long time ago, right? So that maybe my kids are already big, but it's good to know. I think that the parenting process, we made mistakes,
Right.
And sometimes we have to forgive,
I
And
know.
that to talk on kids and ask forgiveness. That's great. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Way to even they don't remember, but I think it's at least from your heart, right? You can
Right.
resolve. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And thank you for that you have done this.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for being able to come on.
Yeah, this is only audio, right? Or there are the.
Yeah, this is
audio.
only audio. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Kimio.
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah. How about Leslie? Does she have a question? You can just press *6 if you have any questions for Karen. while we're waiting, I have another thought. I'm telling you, this topic is just really very touchy. I don't know if everyone on the call have heard of Wayne Dyer. Um, but anyways, my sister-in-law attended an event in Pasadena, California, and it was Wayne Dyer. It was a conference with Wayne Dyer, and she was one of the hosts, Tess, and I mean, they have like free stuff, and one of them was a journal, and she got one for me, and she mailed it to me here in Vegas. And so I've been using that as for my gratitude journal, and there were in some of the pages there were some quotes, and one of the pages was very interesting. It said, "I am not my parents' pattern. I am not my parents or their pattern. I am my own true self, and I am free." And I thought that was like very true, because a lot of for me, everything is a learned behavior. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I am not my parents
Right.
or their patterns.
I do know what you're saying.
Yeah, I am my own true self. It became one of my affirmations, as a matter of fact. Yeah. But anyways, I mean, I guess that's it. If there's going to be no question, this call is recorded, so Karen can share this link on her social media or to anyone via email. So if for those of your friends or families or members of your organizations that was not able to attend, they are able to listen to the recording.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Yeah, because this is very rich information. I have never attended any class with this depth of information. So, but anyways, on behalf of Karen and myself, thank you again for joining us on the call, and we look forward to um, more people joining us next week, right, Karen? Next week?
Yeah, next week. Okay.
Yeah, next week for her next topic, which is Raising Happy Kids. Am I right?
Yes,
yeah,
you're right.
And that's going to be her last call, unless she decides to give one more information, which is she's so awesome doing this. But anyways, thank you again, and I wish everyone a good night. Thank you, Karen.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Night. My pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Very good.
Also,
very good.
Yeah.